Um, right, where do I start? Right now, I'm facing a bit of a challenge, I think. I'm staring at an empty calendar. My savings are dwindling, and the biggest client of my career might just be a maybe. The longer I wait, the more I think I've made a massive mistake. So instead of sitting here panicking, what I'm trying to do is put together a two-part plan, which I'll talk through in this video. My name's Brom, and I am a product and UX designer with over 20 years of experience. I recently, a couple of months ago, quit my head of UX role, which I'd been in for 7 years. Great team, just wanted to get out there and start my own thing. So I started up my own business as a product and UX consultant, with my mission being that I want to help companies, founders, innovators create products that people love and really want to use. And I approach that with all the design thinking and human-centered design experience I've gained over the years doing this as a job. And alongside all that, much like you guys, I'm sure, I'm trying to fit in all the other stuff, keeping fit, spending time with family, going to weddings, just trying to have a life. And it hasn't been plain sailing. I think, honestly, this is the most stressful phase of the whole starting my own business that I've had yet. My first big contract was supposed to start a few weeks ago, but it's been delayed. And to be honest, that's kind of freaked me out a bit. Everything kind of feels like it's on hold, even though it's not. My life certainly isn't. It's not just that you're on a massive learning curve trying to figure out all the things that you need to do. It's the fact that the savings you have are starting to dwindle too. And to me, that's been the biggest pain point as a solo founder. My financial runway is measured in months, not years. So every week that passes is quite a big deal. The clock is ticking and I can literally feel the pressure of it. And I know all this uncertainty is just part of business, but it's a hell of a lot more stressful when it's your own money on the line and you're the one responsible for making sure it doesn't all run out. And this brings me to the dilemma I'm facing at the minute. I have a choice between two options. The first is to wait for that big client, the one that's been delayed. This one feels like the right thing to do because it's a huge opportunity, but it's a massive risk. If this falls through, I've wasted weeks not progressing any other business opportunities. The second option is to hunt for work directly right now. The problem with this one is if I do land the work and the big client calls, I risk being too busy to deliver the best work I could for them. And this is part of the chaos of my life at the minute, trying to spin a dozen plates simultaneously. Things like finalizing my business offers, writing the content for the website, designing the website, finding new clients, and trying to just stay healthy in general. I think some days I'm designing landing pages and other days I'm trying to find something to wear for a wedding. So the pressure is on and the risk of dropping the wrong plate at the wrong time could see my business fall apart before it's even really started. So either way, the worst thing I can do is sit around and wait. So instead, I'm working on two parallel plans, with my idea being that I don't know for sure which way this will go, so I need to be prepared for it to go either way. So plan A is that the client lands. This is the happy path for me. This is the one that I want. If they call tomorrow, I'm ready. I've cleared my schedule, prepared my tools. I'm mentally ready to go all in. I'm not waiting around, and I've already set the stage for a smooth and immediate start. This means my calendar is clear and my head is in the game. I've put everything else on hold so I can focus 100% on delivering the best work I can for this client, with the priority being to make this project a massive success. I'll temporarily pull back on other things that take up time, like social media posts, any other marketing efforts that I'm putting out, and reaching out to new potential clients. I won't be stopping that completely. It's just about shifting down gears, I think, so that I can focus more of my time on delivering the best work possible. I really want to build a killer case study from this client, and that will require my full attention. By focusing completely on execution, I can deliver exceptional results that will speak for themselves later, and that's what I'm going for. So plan B is if the client doesn't land. So if that call doesn't come, I'm trying to get to a place where I'm ready for that too. What I'll do is flip my focus completely the opposite direction. 70 to 80% of what I do will be outreach, which which is actively connecting with people I know, sending personalized emails about my ideas, and creating content that shows exactly what I can do. I'm not a marketer or a salesperson, so I won't be pushy with this. It's about making sure that my skills and services are visible and in front of the people that actually might find value in them. The goal here would be to double down on activities that can bring in revenue in weeks rather than months. So the goal would be to prioritize projects with a shorter life cycle and a faster turnaround. So hopefully it won't come to plan B and the big client will call through. This one is about generating as much momentum as I can rather than having to wait for that one phone call, which takes the power out of my hands completely. So while I'm waiting, I've been focusing on something I've been calling quick wins. They're the low effort, high impact things that keep me moving forward. So for example, I've been finalizing my offers. I say offers in the vein of Alex Hormozy. If you haven't read his books, I really recommend you do that, to make sure my messaging is really sharp, to the point, clear. We want people to understand exactly what it is that I do, what I can offer to them, and how it will benefit them and the value it offers. I've also been building out case study templates. So the goal is to work with clients, get them to love the work that I've done so much that they will help me build out case studies or allow me to do that for my own website. By having the templates ready to go, I can run these through AI and I can get the case study up on the website as soon as possible. The final thing that I'm working on is a script for cold outreach. So this is really not my skill set, and I may outreach to some salespeople I know who are much better at that than I am. But the goal is to have a templated version of an email, a LinkedIn message, or some form of communication that I can then send to potential clients or contacts that might be able to help me find some other work. And then finally, on top of that, I am looking to protect my financial runway. By financial runway, I mean that's the savings I've got that will be used to pay the bills, etc., while I'm not actually making any money. I've already cut non-essential spending, things like my Netflix subscription, although I might have to get that back when the new season of Stranger Things comes. Other things like my Amazon Prime subscription, basically anything that doesn't move the needle in a positive direction for becoming profitable with my business. My mindset here is that every pound and every hour has to earn its keep right now. I'm trying to be as resourceful as possible to make sure that the money and resources I do have survive long enough to make sure that I can make money from the business. So what's my biggest takeaway from this experience so far? Apart from stress, grey hair, and I think I've lost a bit more hair, weirdly. I've learned a few lessons that I'd actually like to share. I think the first lesson I would share is to never rely on a single client. Now, I know this personally deep down, but when this huge client was put in front of me, I kind of got excited and ignored the fundamentals of, good business and proactivity. There really are no guarantees until you've got the money in the bank. A verbal agreement or a signed contract are one thing, but they're never a certainty. If all your eggs are in one basket, a single delay can cause a massive problem to your business, and it might actually be better to have a few smaller clients than one big client fall through. The second lesson I've learned is to build your pipeline early and consistently. So what I should have done is not waited until I'm desperate for work and then do it. I should have done that before. I think you should always be nurturing relationships, whether that's on LinkedIn or any other social media platform where you might find work. It could be meetups, it could be networking events, it could be exhibitions, it could be all sorts of stuff. The key lesson for me was to not let these go cold and to constantly revisit these methods. I think my future self would have thanked me if I'd have been more proactive there. But the third lesson, I think, is to always have a plan B. So I think in the back of my head, I did have a plan B in case this big client didn't land, but maybe I hadn't put it together as comprehensively as I probably should have. What I found is that without that clear plan B, I've just sat around. Not really sat around, but I wasn't as active in trying to get things moving as I could have been. Because in the back of my head, I was going, well, I've got the big client. If I need it, I'll be fine. I'll just wait. So by having an active plan B that you're working on, it gives you a sense of control back. I think that's a key lesson for me, is always be in control of your business. The fourth and final lesson from me will be the emotional side is real. You often hear about founders and entrepreneurs being quite stressed, working all hours under the sun, just to make that first sale or find their next client, etc. And I am learning quickly that this is true. I think I have found that it's okay to feel anxious and stressed around this stuff. It's just normal, part of the process. It means that we're growing, if you're feeling that too. And it means that we're learning lessons and hopefully getting better at this stuff as we go forward. I think the other lesson from that is to keep pushing forward. It's really easy to freeze up and not do anything and just stop, and all that momentum disappears. But set out a goal, break it down into tangible small steps, and just take action on something every day. I think what I am doing now is those little steps, and I will thank myself in future when I look back and see all the progress I've made. So that's it, really. A bit of a strange video, a bit of a rambly video, so apologies if that wasn't useful. I'm trying to document this whole journey. As you know, I'm a designer. I'm not a business person, but I'm trying to learn from the world of business and apply my design thinking and human-centered design methodologies to building this business. So I don't know how this will play out. Maybe the big client comes through, maybe it doesn't. All I know for sure is that I'm not waiting around. I'm scrambling every day to make sure I'm ready either way. The uncertainty is real and it's really scary, but the only thing I can control is my own response. If any of you watching have been through something similar or have some tips or tricks that you'd like to share with me and any other people watching, please put them in the comments below. I'd genuinely love to hear how you've dealt with it all. In the meantime, keep calm, stay creative, and I'll catch you in the next one.